Hello everybody and welcome. So in the last tutorial I talked about how to add multi-locale support in EasyPublish 5. Now I will talk about how to add multi-language support in EasyPublish 5. So here in share.easy.no there is one tutorial about how to add multi-language support in EasyPublish 5 without twig helpers from 5.2. But this method is outdated. So it's recommended to use the twig helpers from 5.2, and if you are still using this method here, I have actually updated my extension, and now I can show you how to update this method to use the new twig helpers from 5.2 in both PHP and twig templates. So there is a post here created by Jerome, and he explains a little bit how to use these new helpers. Don't worry, I'll put all the links in the video description. So you can see here that now there is the old way to do this and the new way. So there is now one method here, is the isFieldEmpty, that checks if the field has content in the current language, and renders the field isRenderField, that is one twig method to render the field in the current language. And here there are some samples in PHP as well. So I have here the documentation for these new twig functions. So you can render the content name, get the field value, or check if the field is empty in the current language, and also render the field in the current language. So you can check the documentation here and see how can you use each function. And if you are wondering how to update this method here with the new twig functions, you can check this commit here that I created for my personal bundle, and you can check here that I have removed a lot of stuff that is not necessary anymore. And so instead of using isSet, I just use this method here, isPublish field helper in PHP, and use this function isFieldEmpty, and then I can check if the field is empty in the current language automatically. So by the way, I need to explain that EasyPublish, you will use this easypublish.yml settings to check the available languages for the current site access. So if you specify that this site access has NGB as the available language, then if you run this function here, EasyPublish will check if the field has content to the NGB language. If you specify more language here, then if EasyPublish do not find the content in NGB language, then it will try to find in other languages, but like PTBR or PORBR actually. So let's continue checking this file, then I can create one example how this works actually. So this is for PHP, so here is one example. So instead of going through all the objects value, you can just use this get field value, so it will return the field value in the current language. And I have also some more samples here in twig templates. So now using the easy content name and the easy field value, so I can get the field value in the current language instead of using something like this. So now I can show you one example here. Let's say we are going to add one new language for our website, for our project. So I go to admin interface, I go in the setup, and I go here in languages, and I want to add Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese here. So I go here, add this language here, Brazilian Portuguese. Now I can go here in the front page, and I'll just translate this. I'll put this window, and I'll just put one string here, and here I'll put something like this. And now we have this content here, the home page, in both in. Oh, I made one mistake here. Let me go back here and just to manage versions here. I'm sorry, it will take a while. I'll copy this version here, so I'll edit this one and just publish again. And to translate, actually I need to create a new translation here, so I'll create a new translation based in the English version, and here I can put again the Portuguese translation. Brazil, and here, sorry, I can put it here. Okay, so now we have actually the content in both languages, English and in Portuguese. So you can check the translation here like this, and yeah, now we have in both languages. But if we go to the front page here, let's go to the front page, to the home page, you'll notice that the content is still in English. What we can do is actually change these languages here for the site group here, and I'll just give you one sample. In that case, Easy Publish was just checking the content for the English version. Now Easy Publish is going to check the content if there is a content in Portuguese only. It will not check content in English. So now if we refresh the page, we can see that now the page is translated, and the multi-banner is here because it is configured in one way that it exists in both languages, in all languages. So this content here, if we create another language, it will be displayed here because if we check this class here, setup classes and banner, you'll notice that default object availability is actually available. So that means that if the object does not exist in the current language, it will be displayed in the existing language, no matter the settings we put here. But that's not the case for other contents like folders and etc. So this is why the blocks in English are not displayed here now. But if we add one new language here, NGV here, that means that Easy Publish will first check if the object, if there is one translation for the object in Portuguese, be Brazilian Portuguese. If there is no content in Brazilian Portuguese, it will then, if if there is no translation in Brazilian Portuguese, it will check then if there is one translation in English in EngGB. So now if I clear the cache, it will now display the content in Portuguese for this one, and this one are displayed in English because there is no translation for Portuguese, for Brazilian Portuguese. So yeah, now you can see that all this is possible because I'm using these twig helpers, and other way you would have some problems using the old method, because you need to define the current language, and it will not get the other languages, the secondary language, like we have in this solution here now. So basically that is it. That is how the multi-language support EasyPublish 5 works. So now it's easier to add the multi-language support in EasyPublish 5. You can just use these twig helpers, and you will get the content in the current language or the secondary language automatically. So that's it, people. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and I'll put all the links in the video description. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.